Guys, you ever wondered if your knife tinkering voided your warranty? Well, let's talk about how sometimes yes, sometimes no, and why. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you guys all know I set up a community Discord for everyone. So there'll be a link to that in the description of this video as well. Go follow it over there and have a bunch of fun getting to meet the other subscribers. Let's turn this around and talk about, did I void my warranty? So guys, like I said in the intro, I know a lot of us like to tinker with our knives. I've got a bunch of knives out here that have different thought processes on tinkering and disassembly and maintenance and things like that. So we're going to talk about it. So this runs the broad spectrum. Now, warranties will cover a lot of things, but one of the things that some knife companies don't is if you do something, case in point, Rosecraft. Rosecraft says that they do not provide replacement parts. And they specifically have told me that disassembling your knife and improper reassembly could void the warranty. Now, what Rosecraft has for their warranty is if you find something wrong with the knife, you simply send it back and they will replace the knife if they deem that it is a fault. If not, they send your knife back to you. And that would include things like maybe the bearings weren't correct or things like that. So you would have to reach out to them. But they specifically told me disassembling a knife could void the warranty on one of their knives. For a long time, Microtech went to the point where they would use proprietary hardware and disassembling one of your knives. They actually had several different kinds of proprietary hardware, and disassembling a knife could void your warranty. At one point, sharpening a knife from Microtech would void your warranty. Now, Reat never really came out and said anything, but they have a really good, they have a really good warranty on their knives as well. Other companies are completely fine with you doing disassembly. As a matter of fact, Fair & Forged Knife Works did several videos showing how to properly disassemble their knives and put them back together. And they hold a lifetime warranty for the individuals. I'm not going to lie, I have broken 2 pieces on Fair & Forged knives, and they have replaced those parts and repaired those knives free of charge because I was the individual owner. So there are different mindsets. As a matter of fact, Grimsmo Knives actually, when you buy the knife, sends you what you need to take it apart and maintenance it. So there's different mindsets on it. So the question is then, why would you want to limit the ability of someone to take knives apart? So we'll start right here with this middle one. We'll get these out of the way and I'll tell you why. So on this knife specifically, and I've taken this knife apart a bunch of times, this has a multi-row bearing system, but they're not actually caged. There is a cage, but they're not set in. And if you take it apart, bearings will fall out of it. As a matter of fact, I had this apart earlier today, and that's what made me think about doing this video. You have to be careful how you disassemble this knife, because the little ceramic balls, while they have a cage that they sit in, they're not like locked in there. Not on this one anyway. They may be on newer models, but these were kind of just a race, and you would set it there. And if you were careful, they would stay in. But if you bumped it at all, the bearings would just fall out and you'd have to put them back in. IKBS is another one that is, they're not even in a race. They're just in a track inside the knife. So you could run into an issue where you lost your bearings. As in you lost your bearings. That's funny. But this is not a fully caged bearing set. So you can run into issues. Now, like I said, Reat's warranty, they told me I could get new bearings anytime I needed them. I just had to reach out to their US rep. And that was years ago when I first got this knife. So Reat has a thing going. Now, Fair & Forged Knife Works will send you screws. They'll replace screws. They'll do the warranty work and things like that. So you don't have to worry about, and these are fully caged bearings. The thing that really you have to worry about is that sometimes people just don't know how to take the knife apart properly. And so when you run into that, like this is a single-sided pivot and it's not, you know, it's not keyed. So if you don't know how to take it apart or get it back together, you could think, oh, I've stripped it and now I've got a loose, I've got a loose pivot, when in all actuality is you just don't know how to take the knife apart. These knives are incredibly complex inside. I did a video about how these work inside. You can find that video up here about how a knife works on the interior of these. And I forgot to mention this one. These guys are awesome. I have absolutely taken this knife apart. I lost a screw. They've replaced parts. My bearings got put in a bowl one time and accidentally dumped and went through the garbage disposal, and they sent me new bearings for this. So these companies here are pretty okay with you taking it apart. Proprietary Hardware is a way for them to keep you from really screwing up your knife. These things are easy to take apart. They're easy to screw up if you take them apart and don't know how to put them back together. Now, I've done it a bunch of times. I've been around knife makers. I'm friends with knife makers. I know how these work. But Proprietary Hardware is a way to get around that. Now, this knife doesn't have proprietary hardware. It doesn't have a complex, mechanism or anything. It's just a simple liner lock. So why wouldn't they want you to take your knife apart? Well, the fact is, these guys aren't sitting around making these. Rosecraft Blades is a company that gets their work done OEM style and then sells it to the consumer as a unit. So they're not doing a bunch of repairs and things like that. Unlike custom knife makers, where these guys are building these in-house, and we're building these in-house and making the parts. Same with Microtech. Even though these are production style knives, they make all the pieces and parts for this. So they are doing that. And to prevent you from damaging the knife, they've done proprietary hardware. It costs a lot for a company to have spare parts and things like that for a knife. So if you were to happen to lose one of these screws, you're basically just out. A lot of these budget knife companies are doing OEM fashion stuff. Like Rosecraft uses Artisan Knife Company, and CJRB is the same company. I mean, they're different companies, but the same production house. And they're making their knives there. And so it costs a lot more for them to have to replace parts. So it's easier for them just to replace the entire knife. But if you're taking it apart and you break a screw, that's going to void your warranty. Or if you lose a screw, that could void your warranty. Can you imagine? Just imagine some of these companies having to keep the screws and everything for every knife they sold, like to keep replacement parts on hand for those knives. It takes up not just a lot of additional cash, but a lot of additional space. So there is a reason why these warranties have these caveats. Now, Microtech has kind of switched, and they are doing a lot of knives that do not have the proprietary hardware anymore. I understand, and I do understand and why they would do it, but there are, it just is frustrating that there are companies that do it. We had that dagger that you saw if you watched that video that I pointed out and put in, but they are allowing you to do that. So it does get frustrating, and us, the guys that like to tinker, can see it as a downside, but there are reasons. The warranty is there to protect both you and the company. They're going to protect you from any fault with their manufacturing, and they're going to protect themselves from you doing something that's going to cost them money in the long run. So that is the gist of that video. I just wanted to touch why tinkering with your knife could void your warranty and the thought process behind it. Companies like this that are fully fine with it, I do love the fact that they not only provide you the resources to do it, but like I said, you can find videos of them showing you the proper way to do it from both of these companies. So with that being said, just check out, before you decide you're going to take one of your knives apart, if it's an expensive knife or if it's a budget knife, check the warranty and see what it does cover. And, worst case scenario, the best choice would be, if you can't find it in their warranty page, just contact them. Most companies have a contact us or FAQ spot on their page. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. There's a lot of reasons why a company would want to prevent you from taking apart a knife. It can void a warranty, and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the company's policy about replacement parts and things that they're going to allow you to do. Now, I do not know any company that will allow you to pry with a knife and break the tip off and replace it. You guys just saw a tip repair here not long ago, or maybe you haven't. Who knows? Maybe I'll put a link to that video up here. Yeah, guys, that's it on this one. We will definitely address other things like this. It's some of the content I want to do that pops into my head every once in a while. I don't always film it. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Tell me why. I've got channel sponsors down below: Coffee Brand Coffee, Tempered Trail. They have a coupon code that works at both of them. It is Crazy Sharp, all one word. That saves you 10% at checkout. It also saves you 5% at checkout at Rosecraft Blades and Fair & Forge Knife Works. I also have an Amazon store down below. You can use that link, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're going to do. And if you join my membership, I have tier-based benefits. Everyone gets early access to videos the second I get done filming them and get them up. You guys get actual exclusive content. You have access to the Discord, the Discord I was talking about. I have a private one for the members. I do giveaways for the baseline and premium members there. I also have a sharpening tutorial series behind the paywall for the premium guys. So guys, that's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. I'll see you in the next video.